The words hit me like a shard of glass. "Can my sugar daddy join us tonight?" she giggled, tilting her head, eyes sparkling with a mischief that froze me in place. I sat on the edge of our bed, phone forgotten in my hand, staring at her as if my mind had skipped a beat. My brain whispered denial. My chest tightened. My voice refused to come. I didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or throw something across the room. I stayed silent. Her laughter lingered like a cruel echo as she slipped past me, humming a tune I no longer recognized. For a moment, I thought maybe it was a joke, a warped attempt at flirtation. But deep down, the cold knot in my stomach told me otherwise. This wasn't the first time I had sensed distance between us. Small fissures in the life we had built together, whispers of secrets hidden behind smiles. But I had brushed them aside, telling myself I was imagining things. That was before tonight. The evening unfolded in muted tension. I watched her move around the kitchen with casual grace, the way she always did. Yet every glance, every tilt of her head, carried a secret I was only beginning to sense. I tried to speak. What do you mean by that?" My voice cracked, betraying my fear. "Oh, come on," she said, spinning toward me, voice light but eyes sharp. "I'm just joking." Her words were a lie I could feel in my bones. I nodded slowly, forcing a tight smile, my hands curling into fists at my sides. Later, as I lay in bed, I replayed the moment over and over, dissecting her tone, her smirk, the way she had avoided my eyes. Something was wrong. Everything was wrong. For the next few days, I tried to reconcile my mind with reality, convincing myself she was innocent, that I was being paranoid. But subtle changes gnawed at me. The extra care she took with her appearance, the late nights out with friends, the secretive texts she hid when I walked by. I felt like a ghost in my own home, watching her through a glass wall, aware that a part of her world existed without me. Then came the first undeniable proof. I stumbled upon it by accident, my heart hammering as I picked up a message she had left open on her phone. There was explicit and unflinching, from a man whose name made by a rise in my throat. She had been meeting him, talking to him, laughing with him, probably the same way she had giggled the night of that cruel joke. I read the messages again and again, unable to believe what I saw, trying desperately to tell myself it wasn't real. But it was. I confronted her one evening, my voice low, brittle with rage and hurt. "Who is he?" She froze, caught mid-step in the kitchen, her smile faltering. "Who what?" I threw the phone on the counter between us, the screen glaring with damning evidence. "Don't play dumb. I know everything. How long has this been going on?" Her eyes shimmered with a mixture of guilt and defiance. "It's not what you think," she whispered, but the tremor in her hands betrayed her. "Then explain it to me." I shouted, the anger rising like a tidal wave. "Explain why you giggled about him joining us. Explain why you've been lying to me, hiding things, sneaking around. Tell me why our marriage meant nothing." Her silence was a confession in itself. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, feeling the foundation of my life crack beneath me. I thought about every shared memory, every laugh, every moment of tenderness, and wondered which ones had been real. In the weeks that followed, I became a detective in my own home, piecing together clues, listening to her words and actions with a skeptical ear. Every phone call, every whispered conversation outside my view, felt like a knife twisting in my chest. I caught her in lies, small ones at first, then bigger ones, each revelation more devastating than the last. And through it all, the mask she wore for me never slipped, not fully. She could still smile, still make me believe for brief, treacherous moments that everything was okay. It was during one of these tense evenings that I decided I could no longer be passive. I confronted her in the living room, the setting sun painting long shadows across the floor. "I can't do this anymore," I said, my voice calm but cold. "I can't live in a house where the person I love has turned my life into a lie." Her eyes filled with tears, but I knew they weren't for me. They were for her guilt, her fear of losing what she had taken for granted. "I never meant to hurt you," she said, her voice trembling. "Intentions don't matter," I replied, stepping closer, my chest heavy with heartbreak. Actions do, and your actions have shattered my trust beyond repair. For a long moment, we simply stared at each other, the silence thick and suffocating. I could feel the years of our life together, the promises, the laughter, the quiet nights on the couch, collapse in that instant. And then, almost instinctively, I made a decision, one that would reclaim my dignity, even if it broke my heart further. I left the house that night, walking through the streets as darkness fell, the cool air sharp against my skin. I didn't have a destination. I just needed space to breathe, to think, to separate myself from the betrayal that had consumed my life. For hours, I walked, replaying every moment, every conversation, every laugh, until exhaustion finally claimed me. When I returned, I found her sitting on the porch, alone, as if waiting for me. She didn't speak. I didn't need to hear her excuses or apologies. I had made my choice. This ends tonight, I said quietly, more to myself than to her. I can't forgive this. I won't be part of a life built on lies. She nodded, a single tear rolling down her cheek, and for the first time, I saw the woman I had once loved, not as she had become, but as she had been, briefly and beautifully. And yet, even in that moment, I knew some fractures could never be mended. I packed my things the next morning, leaving the life we had built together behind. I didn't look back, though I felt the weight of loss pressing against my chest. Betrayal leaves a mark that doesn't fade easily, but it also teaches you the value of truth, of self-respect, and of the courage it takes to walk away from someone you once trusted with your whole heart. As I drove away, I felt a strange mix of grief and liberation. The road stretched ahead, empty yet full of possibility. The pain of her betrayal would linger, but so would the clarity of my own strength. I had survived the darkness of deception, and now I had a chance to reclaim the life that was still mine. I would never forget her laugh, that cruel, teasing giggle. But I had chosen silence, then action, and in that choice, I had found a kind of peace I had known I was capable of.